Perfect, perfect. So, very good morning to each and everyone. Welcome back to episode number 14 of IT Talks. Uh, it's myself, Shivang Sharma, MMS student from Atharva College of Institute of Management, and today we have with ourselves Sneha. I would request her to introduce herself.
My name is Sneha Kamalpuria and I am from MMS Division B from Atharva Institute of Management Study, and I'll be your co-host for today. Over to you, Shiva.
Yeah, thank you. So today with us we have Dr. SP Kallulkar sir. He's a principal. The most importantly thing, he's a principal of Atharva College Engineering College. So we are very lucky to have him today. Before starting with the show, that the topic is on role of information technology in career management. Before starting with that, I'll just like to introduce Sir. Like not because not people know him just as a principal of engineering of a engineering college of Atharva Engineering College, but it's important for them to know what actually he has done, what he has done through his life, so that he has came through these stages. So talking about SP Kallulkar sir, he's the principal of 18th Atharva College of Engineering, Mumbai, as we all know. He's BE Mechanical Engineering, MMS, and a doctorate in Industrial Engineering. He has worked in industries as Bajaj Auto Limited and Kirloskar Brothers Limited, Pune, etc. for 5 years. And he has total of 42 years of experience to his credit. That's really great experience. He is founder of HOD Production Engineering in SGGS Institute of Engineering and Technology, Nanded, principal at AISS MS College of Engineering, Pune, and founder principal Marathwada Mitra Mandal's College of Engineering, Pune, etc. He is a recognized research guide in BIT Ranchi, SP Pune University, SRTM University Nanded, SDM University Amravati, Dr. B.M. Marathwada University Aurangabad, Solapur University, Pacific University Udaipur, etc. 21 candidates, including one international students, have received PhD in mechanical production and industrial engineering and management under his guidance, and 6 candidates are working. I guess the introduction is still very long, and I'm pretty obliged to introduce because I think so. These are so much of degrees that we can't even think of attaining this in our whole life. He has published more than 100 papers at international and national journals, conferences, and seminars with 260 citations. He has filed 2 patents in mechanical and IoT domain. He was mentor and auditor under TEQIP Phase 1 World Bank Support Project for Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technical University, Lonare, Government of Engineering Aurangabad, Government Polytechnic Pune, and RIT Sakrale. He was expert for TEQ Part 2 at NPIU MHRD New Delhi, during which he was a study team member for the state of Uttar Pradesh and mentor for the state of Jharkhand. He was also auditor and mentor for NIT Patna, NIT Agartala, along with 2 institutes from West Bengal and 1 from Andhra Pradesh and 1 from Gujarat state. He is now auditor mentor under TEQP Part 3 for SVNIT Surat, NIT Rourkela, KLE Technical University BVB, COE Hubli, and Government College Engineering Chhattisgarh. He is founder coordinator of Entrepreneurship Development Cell established by DSP and MHRD Government of India at SGGS IIT Nanded, which was rated as outstanding EDC continuously for 3 years by DSC. He has organized 4 international conferences, 11 national seminars, and 35 international entrepreneurship awareness camps. He was editor for journal Engineering Education and past president member of Engineering Education Foundation, Pune. He has executed 2 R&D projects in entrepreneurship development funded by AICTE and MHRD Government of India. Well, that was a really long introduction, sir, and I'm pretty much sure that this is just a short summary of what you have done. There will be a lot of things. There will be a lot of things that you haven't mentioned over here, and you have achieved a lot, because 42 years of work experience is really long. Talking about myself, I am myself 24. I'm just not even half of the experience of your age right now, and you have that much of experience. That we are very lucky, and I hope Sneha will be agreeing with me that we are very lucky that we have you with us today on our stage. So for today, as you know, the topic for today is role of IT, information technology in career management. career management is something which is a very vast thing, and especially with the younger generation coming up very quickly up and above, it is very important for them to understand why managing a career is important and what information technology will be playing a role in it. So I'd request that before going ahead with how will IT affect in career management, or how career management will be handled with the help of information technology. I just want sir to give a brief idea about what basically information technology is, because I know that
Okay.
you need to explain a layman that what IT is actually. Then how
See, IT is basically the application of computer engineering for certain applications. And as far as our Indian context is concerned, yes, we are one of the giants who are ruling the world in the field of IT. And I always call it as ITQ: information technology, Internet of Things, and Indian talent. Because of these three things, we are ruling the world. Basically, when we say IT, basically IT is a tool. So whichever field you are going to be there, you're going to utilize the IT now. Because we cannot live a normal life in today's time unless we are able to use IT to some extent. Even a layman, someone who doesn't know what is IT, with the help of smartphone, even they are using IT. So basically, information technology has become a tool for communication, tool for working. And even what we are communicating today is the extension of IT in the form of digitalization. So pandemic has given so many problems to the world, but at the same time, within every thread there is an opportunity. So what the whole world has realized out of this pandemic is the importance of digital technology, which is nothing but an extension of IT for time to come. And post-COVID period, the lifestyle is going to be different, whichever sector we are. And it will be more dominated by IT, it will be more dominated by the fields like digital technologies. And because of that, all giants like Google, Microsoft, they have invested not millions but billions of dollars for the development of digitalization, virtual presence, what we are doing right now. So this is going to rule the world in time to come, and this is going to be our lifestyle. So more and more use of IT is going to be a lifestyle for everyone, and those who are aspiring to use this tool, definitely they can prosper in the field of their careers.
Correctly, sir. Correctly said, sir. I totally agree with you. Now that we know we are affected due to the pandemic a lot, and everything has changed now. So we know that IT is our future. So just so we all know that, can you please explain the importance of IT in a student's life? How it affects a student, and what are the career opportunities for a student in IT sector?
See, as I said, in students' life, today you cannot be a student unless you use IT. You will not be able to function in any kind of organizations unless you are using IT. And now, which are the various fields, if you ask me? Then it's a big list. It could be for engineering, it could be for management, it could be even people with the creativity. Now, what are the opportunities in IT sector, if you ask me? Then it is, there are about 9 or 10 roles which are accepted globally in the field of IT. First one is graphic designer. So what a graphic designer does, it gives visual identity to the company's message. Now, if I have that kind of passion, when I choose a career, what is important is that I choose the field in which I have a passion. Because you are, problems are going to be there. But the problems are seen as challenge if you have passion and if you have an interest in the rewards of success of that chosen profession. Certain professions will give you more status, certain professions will give you more money, and so many things. So if I have an interest in the rewards of success and the work I am doing matches with my passion, I see the problem as a challenge. Otherwise, I see a problem as an obstacle. And the moment I see problem as an obstacle, I am trying to run away from the situation. So fight or flight, that kind of situation. So it's always essential to understand who am I. In one of my research, which is sponsored by IICT, that was for developing the enterprising personality, making use of Vedic philosophies. But another use of that was career planning. So even in spirituality, you have got who am I exercise. But at the same time, in career management also, we need to have who am I exercise. What makes me happy? Is it more money? Is it better status? Is it long-term achievements? Or is it appropriate working hours? Is it better working workplace relationship? There are so many things which one can think of. So if I feel I'm creative in nature, with help of something like a drawing or graphics, I can convert certain ideas and pass it on to the large population. Each one should receive the same message. That's the big. So then you can think of being a graphic designer. Another role is business analyst. He is a problem solver. He will define and enable the business change. You need to have changes because the change is the only constant thing. So someone who can manage the change in an able manner is a business analyst. And he is a person who will make a difference in the success of the business. So one has to understand what kind of personality I have, what kind of person I am, what kind of lifestyle or what I would like to be seen by the world in 20 years from now is a long-term goal. And my long-term goal and the short-term goal has to be part and parcel of the long-term goal. So one has to plan the career in this fashion. And now in this fast-paced industrial world, where the rewards of the companies are also required to be at larger number, the business analyst is a person who does that. So one can choose the role of business analyst in the IT sector. Another could be IT support jobs. Here you are a part of help desk operator. And you are monitoring and maintaining the computer systems of the organization. One has to understand what is my background, what is my passion, and then one can choose if you wish to be in the IT sector. Another role is IT administrator. The administrator will have at least generally 50 employees working under him from the IT field. And the task is to keep the IT network ongoing. Say now Atharva campus is connected. We have a wired connectivity. And the server for the whole campus is in the engineering college 3rd floor. If you come and visit this. Now when I receive the internet connectivity from the internet supplier, provider, I need level 1 switch, I need level 2 switch, then I run the wires, and at every phase I need switches. Now what is important is that I have to find out appropriate techno-economic solution. The most reliable switch is Cisco. So switch number 1, level 1, switch level 2, I will always prefer to go for Cisco. And for anything else, I will go for the other brands, where I can save money. And system administrator is a person who understands these things and then takes a decision of this kind, so that the overall cost gets reduced, but at the same time reliability of the network enhances. And that's everywhere. Investigation and diagnosis related with network problem is the role of an IT administrator. He has to also perform the IT users statistics from each node, how much is being pulled. You know, I'm auditor mentor for TQ 1, 2, 3. So during phase 1, the money was spent by all the institutions. I know Lonere is a 500 acres campus. And now it is a Technical University of Maharashtra. So about 50% plus engineering colleges of Maharashtra are affiliated to that university now. So when I was doing a mentoring of that university, I used to take around with the Honorable Vice Chancellor in his car. Because out of 500 acres, more than 100 acres they had to lay down the wire. And the problem is, the hostels are required to be connected for such institutions. And all the students during evening time and night time will start watching movies on internet. And then they will pull large amount of bandwidth. So agar, Batu, we call it as Batu, Baba Saheb Ambedkar Technical University. So they have 10 hostels. And each one is trying to pull the bandwidth. It is the role of IT administrator to manage the bandwidth. Kis node mein kitni bandwidth jayegi. So he is the person who decides that. And then that's the IT usage statistics. And then also he is a person who manages the security and the passwords. So when we receive passwords of our domain, you know, now we are using edu or .ac.in. The idea is that the world looking at our website or at our email should realize that this is an academic institution. So now all the passwords of all the users are managed by the IT administrator. Next is software testing. It is being said that with the advancement of technology, the role of software testers will go down. But as on date, role of software testing is there. So what this person will be doing, once the software is developed, it needs to be tested in the controlled environment first and then in the field. Because when you use your software in the field, there are certain variables which are not predicted, but they will have action and interaction with your software. And that time you need to have a proper software testing. What he will do, he will break up the product. Product means the software that you are developing, maybe for a large application, into small segments. And then he will try to control the processes, understand the processes, test the processes. He will do functional test. He will do customer satisfaction test. He will do stress test. Whereas system mein kitna stress aa raha hai? You know, sometimes systems get hanged. 18 to 45. Vaccination started and system got hanged because the stress test was not done properly. If the stress test is done properly, it will not happen. You see, you book your flights on yatra.com or makemytrip.com, they won't get problems because they're already tested. Even for the large number of population, when the people want to book their flights during Diwali or year-end period, the softwares are already tested. But if you go to IRCTC, sometimes the system gets disturbed. So that is the raw beauty of being a software tester. That your system should not get hanged up when it comes to the field test. And there is also a scalability test. That is nothing but scalability. There is a role of IT manager. I'll take few minutes to reply because it's a little long question. What are the roles to play in IT field? So IT manager, sometimes MBA students will feel that yes, this is my role. But to reach to the level of IT manager, I must spend at least 10 years in IT. Because He's an advisor to the business and technology development. To be an advisor, you must have gone through the process. Unless I put on the shoes of someone, I don't understand where it is pinches. So you must have gone through all those processes. Then you can be an advisor. He works for system design. He's a team leader. He will have a team working under him. I'll give an example because I was telling your course that I like to speak with examples. One of my postgraduate students when I was an HOD at AGGS was pursuing his dissertation in CDEC Pune. And that was the time when CDEC Pune was responsible for development of supercomputer for India. Because India wants to do anything, the world will always oppose. Same thing happened in case of supercomputer. That was the beginning. Then was the cryogenic technology. We developed our, before supercomputer, I'll give you the example of cryogenic technology. When we wanted to launch our satellites, ISRO wanted to go high. What America did? Put a sanction on India that no one will give cryogenic technology to India in the world. So what we did? We established a center in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and sub-center at IIT, Mumbai, because the cryogenic lab of IIT Mumbai is one of the best in the country, or rather not only in country but even the Asian region. And we developed our own cryogenic technology. Cryogenic technology deals with the technology which operates below 0 degrees centigrade to minus 273 ultimately. So when you are in the space, the temperature outside is minus 100, minus 150. Your products must function at that stage. The kind of material I am going to use should function at that temperatures. This technology no one gave us, we developed ourselves. Same thing happened with supercomputers prior to that. And one of my students was working, so I went and just to see what he is doing. Of course, when we develop a supercomputer kind of things, there are hundreds of engineers. So my student was a member of one team where there were 10 engineers. And they were working on speech recognition. These are very normal things now. I'm talking about 15 years old story, or even 20 years old story. So I was talking to the supervisor and asked him, we became friends in a day or so. So I asked him, sir, आपका क्या qualification है? आप supervise कर रहे हो 10 engineers को, you are part of development of supercomputer for India. He said, I am an Ayurvedic doctor. See the role of team leader I am trying to talk. I said, doctor का यहाँ क्या काम है supercomputer बनाने में? So he said, ये बच्चे ऐसे हैं, ये पैशनेटली काम करते हैं, दिन रात काम करते हैं, सोना भूल जाते हैं, खाना भूल जाते हैं. मेरा रोल इतना है कि इनकी हेल्थ मेंटेन करो, बाकी सब काम ये देख लेते हैं. We had hundreds of engineers of this kind, and we had few doctors who were there in the development of supercomputer for India to take care of their health. See the beauty. So this is the role of that even IT manager. He is not only a team leader for technology, because I was working with about 25 IT professionals and we were trying to develop personality development for them. It was a 3 months continuous program. We used to meet for 2-3 hours on every Sunday in Pune. And the problem I realized was, when you come to know at 7 p.m. that I have to work for another 5 hours, you get tense. Now here the role comes of the IT manager. Who will say, जाओ एक 15 मिनट बैडमिंटन खेल के आओ, जाओ टेबल टेनिस रखा है खेल के आओ, बिलियर्ड्स रखा है खेल के आओ. I'm talking about companies like Wipro, Infosys, that kind of organizations. Why they keep all these things? Because then your energy should come back. And what my role in this training was, how do I keep my mind in the present rather than past and future? The moment I try to bring my mind at present, I'm very comfortable. So I was trying to train these people, and then they said, अरे प्रोडक्टिविटी तो बहुत बढ़ रही है, इसमें इफिशियंसी बहुत बढ़ गई है, शाम में टेंशन ही नहीं आ रहा है, 15 मिनट खेल के आते हैं, 5-10 मिनट आप कह रहे हो थोड़ा सा मेडिटेशन प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, इट वर्क्स, समथिंग लाइक दिस. Even this is the role of IT manager. I was a supervisor in one of the companies, of course between Bajaj Auto and Kirloskar Brothers. I was working with a medium scale company, and I had 3 workers with me, and my role was pump testing before they are dispatched for industrial pumps. So what I used to do in my young age of 24, 25, what you are, I used to order vada pav and chai. वड़ा पाव और चाय अगर शाम में 5-6 बजे मंगाया है तो वो वर्कर समझ जाते थे कि आज 12 बजने वाले शाम के, रात के. बट देन वो एक वड़ा पाव और एक चाय मेक्स अ डिफरेंस, बिकॉज यू आर ट्राइंग टू केयर फॉर दैट पर्सन. So that is more important at the managerial level. Am I caring for my people? That's more important. Then next is what client wants and how IT can solve the problems and give a difference. So IT manager will try to discuss with the clients. I'll give you an example. I was working with my first startup students company, and first 2 orders were delivered, executed for college. First was AGGS, second was Kopargo Engineering College. And we thought that now we'll go to the field. So we went to this workshop of Indian Railways. And we gave them a solution, like what I'm saying. Go to the client and tell them that what you are doing with IT or with my technology, you can do it better. We said that all the local trains of Mumbai, the lights and fans, you run in the morning before they start operating. And you are wasting energy for that. Instead of that, mechanical fault is rarely to be there, and just check if the circuit is okay. There are I2R losses, which is about 30%. So 70% of the energy going back to mains. So you are able to save 70% of the energy. I give a solution with 13 lakhs of rupees in 1995-96. And by saving the energy within 2 years, Indian Railways will repay by saving the energy. And being students of college and all these things, they were not ready to believe in us. So we did certain miracles and then got the order. Then we applied for a global tender of BARC, same problem. Anything going in the atomic research of India, and that time only Siemens West Germany was in position to supply. Again, the sanctions of European Union on Siemens West Germany, you don't supply this to India. We don't want India to grow in atomic research. हमने बोला आप कोई देता ही नहीं है तो हमको दे दो कॉलेज वालों को, and we executed that order of 18 lakhs. I mean, the whole idea is, this is the way sometimes you have to convince the client. That's more in case of IT, but non-IT sector also it is there. That's why I gave you an example of Indian Railways. उनके पास एक 5 साल पुराना वर्टिकल टर्रेट लेग पड़ा था, गवर्नमेंट सिस्टम में it was not getting scrapped. We said हम इसको चला के बताते. And we did that in 20,000 rupees because one engineer said, I can believe in you, my financial power is only 20,000. So हमने 20,000 में machine चालू किया. It was to do the turning of bushes which connect between the shaft and the wheels of the rails. So जब वो machine चालू हो गया तो the message went. And then we were asked, हमने क्या किया? हमने बोला हमने आपका सर्किट पूरा निकाल के फेंक दिया, नया सर्किट लगा दिया. आपके सब मैकेनिकल कंपोनेंट्स ओवरऑल कर दिए. I said 20 monkeys mean the students of engineering who did all overhauling of the machine and made it to start. It became a message in Indian Railways per hour workshop, and we bagged that order of 30. So same thing you will have to do it if you are an IT manager. That's why I gave you this example. Then you are doing a project planning. Different phases of the project, how you are going to implement. And then you are coordinating the team. You are looking after cost, time scale, standards to be met, And there should be a smooth changeover from the manual system to the IT system. Because when there is a shift from manual to IT, there is a resistance. Even the human resistance. अरे मैं 25 साल से काम करने वाला हूँ, तू कौन छोटा बच्चा होता है मुझे पढ़ाने वाला? You will listen these words when you go to the IT sector. And that time, with folded hands, you say, okay, sir, I will learn from you. Make him a big guy. And then slowly implement what you want. Means when you can't convince a client, confuse him. That's the principle of marketing. You can follow that. And you need to have an evaluation at various stages of it. Now, if you feel that I'm meant for this kind of job, yes, you become an IT manager. Aspire for that. The whole idea is that in all these 9 phases, you can try to reach to the highest level. Now, because of flat organization structure, what is being done? Manager मतलब बहुत बड़ा है और administrator बहुत छोटा है, nothing like that. In your chosen field, you can rise to the highest level, except managing director. But at least up to vice president level, you can rise from any of these. Then software developer's job. It's the brain behind the software. Design, installation, testing and maintenance. Replacement of existing systems. Installing the new systems. Produce the detailed specifications. Write codes. Of course, when you are writing codes, you may not write it yourself but you will get it done. So coding is one of the jobs these people would be doing. Then product testing, controlled and field environment, preparation of training manuals, and maintenance to keep the system running. So these are their roles. There is above network administrator, there is a network manager. He will lead the team of the network support members. And again, he will also do the same thing, installation, maintenance, and looking at the cost. Because in case of this, the cost plays a very important role. There's a work support engineer, network support engineer. That is also a role. You are a computer engineer, so maybe you can think of becoming a network support engineer. I was working with a company. The company was in Secunderabad, and I was trying to support in the field of entrepreneurship development. The name of the entrepreneur was K.V. Sunil. He was a computer engineer of about, you can say, 1990 pass out, Kerala. He was the best person in hardware maintenance. And he had his company of hardware maintenance. He had thousands of computers across the country being maintained by his engineers. And I had promoted him, you go into the software training also. And I supported him as an in charge of the ED cell, which was rated outstanding later on, that you start 100 centers in Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. I will support you. 400 centers was my target. And that time, I used to find him that whenever he used to get a call, he said, "Chalo, ye test karo, ye test karo." Got the solution? Done. Chalo, let me drive my car further. Because we were hectic traveling during that time across all these 4 states. And he was a passionate driver, being a Kerala person. So naturally, he used to ask the driver, "Jab piche baitho, I want to ride," something like that. So that is the role of network support engineer now. But you can even be a freelancer to do that job. All these jobs which I am talking can be, some company can think to give it as an offload. Someone else, and someone like a freelancer or someone can start a business in any one of these fields and run your entrepreneurship in that field also. Now, what is important is you are managing LAN, local area network, you are managing MAN, metropolitan area network, that is city level network. You are also managing WAN. That is wide area network, which could be across the cities, it could be at the global level also. So the role is this. And next is database manager. These are all different roles in IT sector one can think of. He is responsible for the way the company is managing or organizing, storing the data, and giving the access to different people in the different organizations. So he will decide these levels and layers. So maybe the top man has access to everything else, but stores person will have access only to stores data. Accounts man will have access only to accounts data. He will decide that, and he will work upon that. He will handle database administrators. And what is important is he will help you to convert the data to information and design it. You can even think of a decision support system. You are a computer engineer. So what is the difference between MIS and DSS? Management Information System and Decision Support System in case of IT. Management Information System will do all the calculation, give you the direct results. But as a manager, as an MMS, having a lot of knowledge of managing the things, I am not happy that the system is giving me the solution. Chalo itna kaam karo. Because I am being dictated by your system. I want a lot of what if analysis kind of things. What if I do this? Okay. Now, large amount of what if analysis things will be available under DSS, Decision Support System. Sometimes people will prefer to go for DSS rather than MIS. Now, as a database manager, I know I have to satisfy the need of the client. You know, there are some drivers who don't like to drive automatic cars. मजा नहीं आता, मैं अपने हाथ से गियर डालूंगा. Something like this. मजा नहीं आता. System is giving me all the results, dictating on me. No, I am a manager. I am MMS. I will decide. Then you can develop a decision support system rather than a management system. And the last is technical architect. That's a job one can do. Think of in IT sector. What this person is doing, basically architect means creativity. You will always think of giving innovative solutions which are cost effective in nature. Because when you are thinking of innovations, we need to think of innovations from the perspective of customer. And customer will look at my innovations from the perspective of value to the customer. And in a simple mathematical term, value is equal to function divided by cost. When I want to enhance the value to my customer, I need to do innovation. I mean, this is giving you a direction for innovation. Either I should increase on the functional capability, primary function, secondary function, tertiary function. I am little going depth into the innovation theory of innovations. But I think yes, as the students of management, you can use it sometime in your life. So I use a pen. Why I buy a pen to write? Primary function. When I buy a pen, I try to see if the pen should have a nice grip. Secondary function. When I buy a pen, I try to see that the pen should look nice when I put it on my pocket. Tertiary function. If I have to give a pen, gift a pen to someone, I will prefer a pen which maybe have a diamond studded or gold plated, something like that. These are all tertiary functions, but that adds value to the customer. So that is a source of innovation. Then identify the organizational needs and recommend the products and systems, how my software can support that. That's the role of architect. Same thing is done by the architects who design the buildings also. I was discussing with one architect and he said, you can't have the same kind of building for a professor and the businessman. Businessman should have a strong room to keep a lot of money. Professor should have a good shelf to keep a lot of books. Does the architect understand this? Same thing in case of architect in the field of software engineering. Explain plan to designer and developers. The same thing, architects explains the things to the structural designers. And then structural designers does the structural design of the building. And all those things. Same thing, what happens in building, same thing happens in software also. Then produce a progress report from time to time. to see that what I am doing matches with what I have planned, and keep on advising the clients about the future development, so that you will keep on doing, your business should keep on going. You are satisfied one need, you have to create another need for the customer. Then only your business will keep on going. So that's the job of system architect. So these are various roles. One can decide what suits me. If I want to be in the IT sector, these are proven roles, well accepted roles all over the globe. So I think I gave a very long answer to a short question.
No, so that was a really knowledgeable thing, because that's the point, that wherein we tell people around we are working in IT sector, it's very much important for people to understand what kind of job we are doing. And that was a very brief description of every job. I am pretty much sure, and being from the engineering background, I am pretty much understanding this thing, that the description you have given of each job, that is just a minimal description that a person can give, so that you can get a fair idea about it. If you go in deep for that, it will be like 2 or 3 days seminar wherein you can just tell about a particular job. So it was pretty knowledgeable thing. There were two, three bits which I really enjoyed. The very first one, which you told that you had went to the workshop in Parel, the railway workshop, the local railway workshop, and that brings me to a point wherein people around India say that engineers are jugadu. हर चीज का सोल्यूशन मिलेगा तुम्हें इंजीनियर के पास में. It's nothing. Engineers can do anything if you give, like, even if you give a toy which is not working, he will definitely make them work some or the other way around. Then coming to the point where you told about that IT managers, that you used to give them vada paos and chai, though they got to know that they'll be working for a long period of time, but still those 10 minutes of refreshment break gives you an energy for work for next 4 to 5 hours. That was the same technique which my previous company used to do. They either used to arrange food for us or something, and then they used to make us sit till 10:30, 11, and make us work. So all this field and everything that you have explained, sir. So this brings me to one more important question: is how much important is it to understand IT, the role of IT in career development for a youngster or for a fresher who's just starting with the job? These are the professions which a person can select. But once you're starting with your career, how much is it important for them to understand what basically IT, or the role IT is playing in the life or in the professional life majorly?
The role of IT will depend on the type of job you're selecting. Because suppose that you are into, take an example. I know one doctorate from IIT Delhi, PhD in computers. He was a CPU scientist with Intel. He recently left the job and joined the headquarters of Amazon. Now, in case of Amazon, the whole business is IT based. With the help of IT, you have changed the scenario. And what Amazon is coming up, you will be knowing that they are coming up with the departmental stores also now. Amazon departmental stores. So he has shifted to Canada, because Canada and US, it is under testing. The cart in which you are taking the things, the chip is already connected to that. You keep something in the cart, it is being built. You take it out, it is again rebuilt. And when you cross the door, the final bill is ready, the credit card is connected, it will get debited, or your account is connected, it will automatically get debited. You have to just put the things in your vehicle and leave the premises. You know, many of the departmental stores at present, there is a long queue at the billing center. No, basically they are into retails. But even in retails, if I use IT to the fullest extent, those long queues can be reduced. Or there won't be any queue anywhere. There will be a person also. See, because the cart in which you are keeping the things itself has the billing system. Now what is going to happen in time to come is that IoT, 3D printing, virtual presence, virtual controls, these things are going to rule the world. take an example. I have a smart freeze at home. So this smart freeze will be knowing how much milk is there. Moment the milk is getting exhausted, an order will be placed by the system. It may be delivered to your residence by drone in time to come. And a robo, a service robo. If you come to Atharva Engineering College, you can see that robo. Professor Bhavin can show you that robo. We have a 2-foot size robo in this room where I am sitting. And this robo will receive the milk, keep it in the freeze. And an automatic system will make the payment. So you are not worried about the things. Or maybe that you are working on the gas stove and you find that the knob is broken. What normally we are doing at present? We are calling the mechanic, he will replace the knob. But after 10 years from now, a housewife will never do that. She has a 3D printer at home, in her kitchen. So what she will do? She will just send a message to the company who supplies the knob. She will put the raw material there, or which is already there. This is a manufacturing technique, additive manufacturing technique. Means you keep on adding the material. So with this additive manufacturing technique, the knob will be made by your 3D printer which is kept in the kitchen. You have got mixers, you have got oven, you have got grinders and so many things. So you will also have a 3D printer. The knob will be made and the lady will fit it in this thing. So now these kind of roles will be managed by IT. So what is happening in time to come, certain roles with the advancement of technologies will become obsolete. Certain skills will become obsolete because they will be taken over by the machine. But behind that there will be other skills which will have an importance. I'll give an example. When the Indian railway was first introduced in Mumbai, Thane, hundreds of palkiwala went on strike. Before that, people used to move in palkis. You know palki? Palki में ले जाते थे 2 आदमी 4 आदमी and बड़े लोग पालकी में बैठ के जाते थे. अगर दे सेट की बार हमारा क्या होगा? रेल अगर 100 लोगों को ले जाएगी 500 लोगों को एक ही बार ले जाएगी तो पालकी वाले क्या करेंगे? पर अगर उस समय अगर ट्रेन नहीं लाते थे तो क्या होता था? आज सब हम लोग का पालकी में ही घूमते थे, आज भी हाथी में बैठ के घूमते थे. It doesn't happen now. So when there are certain skills which become obsolete, there is a major chunk of other skills which are in demand, much in demand. Same thing when the carbon paper was introduced, Nakal Navis, who used to work in all the courts, district courts, they went on strike. Their job was to Nakal, make the copy. They will see and copy, rewrite. They were called Nakal Navis. They went on strike. अरे ये तो एक बार ही 3 copies बन रही है. Same thing will happen when photocopying machine came. So this will always happen. Now I must understand the technology on which I am going to work for my career. What is the shelf life of this technology? Different technologies will have different years of shelf life. So technology forecasting, knowledge of technology forecasting is most important thing if you want to take a job in IT. Because it's a field of fast changing technologies. It becomes opportunity for those who can master these technological changes faster. Whereas to others it becomes a serious threat. So I must develop the skill to master the technology switchover faster if I want to be in the IT sector. What I do today, after 3 years, something completely different will be done. Will be there. So I must be always have a capacity of lifelong learning. Yesterday I was attending an international conference and we were discussing in that by Indo-Universal Collaboration for Engineering Education. Dr. Bhavin was also attending with me. I mentioned the skill set required for Industry 4.0 is developing the ability of learning to learn amongst our students. Self-learning, ability of learning to learn. So I must acquire the skill of ability of learning to learn, and I must understand that lifelong learning is going to be my lifestyle if I want to be in IT sector. Because here the changes are going to be there. Even there will be certain changes about which we don't know now. What is going to happen in case of IT after 20 years, we don't know. We know Industry 4.0, artificial intelligence, data analytics, database management, everything for next 10 years. But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's more important if I want to be in the IT sector.
That was a perfect explanation, sir, to my question, and I'm pretty happy that I got a much clearer idea. I don't know about the viewers, but I am pretty sure that I got a very clear idea of what I was thinking. Before proceeding ahead with our further questions, we have a question from a viewer, Garima Unale ma'am. She has asked she has asked you to introduce us with the frugal innovation.
Frugal innovation.
Yes.
Garima is working on that.
Okay.
So frugal innovation is nothing but jugaad. Makeshift. What you mentioned about jugaad, in a sophisticated language, you can say frugal innovation. Barefoot innovation. I hope Garima agrees with me, ma'am.
She'll definitely comment and tell us, ma'am, whether she agrees or not. I am definitely sure she will agree. Like there will be very less amount of people who will be disagreeing to what you are saying and your knowledge and your experience. So for next question, I would request Sneha to proceed ahead.
Yes, sure. As we know, IT is a big and vast sector. So it is important to have very important and very necessary skills for IT sector. So what are the basic skills which a which a student need to develop in IT sector before entering it?
See, the skills is, as I mentioned, these different types of roles, 9 or 10, which you are going to perform. You have to first understand. For example, now your co-host himself is a computer engineer. So maybe a type of job he will choose will be different. So what is important is, as I said, who am I exercise? What makes me happy? That's better to understand first. But that is a big session. Sometimes I used to have an 8-hour session for that. But then what makes me happy? That is formula. One can develop a formula of professional satisfaction. Money, in certain cases, it could be 60%, somewhere it will be status is 30% and all that. And total is 100%. So what is my formula of professional satisfaction? That's important. And once I develop that, then I do my SWOT analysis. You all being the students of management, you know the SWOT analysis. So I'm going to do a SWOT analysis for myself. And then trying to understand what are my strengths and what are the opportunities where the reward of success is matching with my formula of satisfaction, professional satisfaction. And that's what I will first choose. Now, if you say what are the skill sets, then if you are an engineer, you need to have a different kind of skill set. If you are a non-engineer person and still want to go into the IT field, maybe that your role will be different. Because suppose you are an electronics engineer or a production engineer, mechanical engineer, then you know and how an IC engine works. Even still IC engine is there. And now when I am developing a system for that, because if you see the modern automobile, I am personally working with ARAI, Automotive Research Association of India, which is an apex body under the Ministry of Heavy Industries, Government of India. Fortunately, I am one of the members on their academic committee since last about 15 years. So there we work about what's going to be the future of automobile sector in India. And we started with a small MTech batch of 20 students in collaboration with Vellore Institute of Technology. And we found that they study what the model was when we started. Theory they will learn in Vellore, practical, the dissertation they will complete in ARA. And ARA being an apex body, all the automobile companies have to come to ARA for all types of sanctions. Even if you buy a car costing 5 CR, 10 CR from anywhere in the world, it will go to ARA for 10 days. Everything will be tested for Indian conditions. If ARA issues you the certificate, you can run that car on the road, where you are. If ARA does not, you have to send back that car to the manufacturer or the country from where you have purchased. Something like this. So now our students are getting that kind of exposure. Now you see that today's modern car, though it is a mechanical engineering product, not more than 50% of the mechanical engineering is there. The remaining 50% is computers. So automobile computing, automobile electronics, auto electronics is a major chunk of that. So now you can think what kind of skill I want. I mean, it depends on your background. If you are a MS, the BSc statistics person, and now you are pursuing your MS, this one. So you can apply your knowledge of statistics and develop a database management systems. For example, you keep on receiving some marketing messages wherever you go. Suppose you are a frequent flyer, you go to the airport and you start receiving messages. बैनटन में इतना सेल चल रहा है, गुस्सी के वॉच पे इतना परसेंटेज ऑफर है, वगैरह वगैरह. The moment you go to the airport, you start receiving these messages. This example was given by one of the top person, and Honorable Rane sir was there also. And he said कि मिठाई वाले का ऐड अगर सर को भेजेगा तो क्या फायदा है? सर थोड़ी वहां जाके मिठाई खरीदने वाले हैं. सर अगर थोड़ा सा शॉपिंग करेगा तो 50,000 के ऊपर वाला करेगा. Even if he has time. Basically, he will not have time. Even if he has time, he will buy something worth 50,000. So he will receive only ads which are suitable to his purchasing power and purchase time. So when you came to this airport last time, which are the places you visited? GPS is tracking you. And a statistician will understand that. So you will be able to develop that kind of systems. What kind of ads should go to which type of customers? So what we are doing is now we have a shift from mass production systems to mass customization. So now the future is mass customization. Every client wants to be independent. Client is a king, and king is only one. And every client is a king. Now, how can I treat every client to be the king? That is with the help of IT and my knowledge in statistics and advanced statistics like multivariate data analysis techniques. You would have come across that in MMS, like factor analysis, cluster analysis, if you heard, or statistical package for social sciences, if you have used SPSS. So it depends on your background. Or if you are an economist, you come with BA economics background, and then you come to engineering. You may develop some different types of skill sets and use IT in that. So it will change from person to person in my opinion. Depends on your basic background. Okay?
Yes, sir. Perfectly said. Sir, as we now covered all the major jobs in IT sector and the skills required and the role played by them, I would like to ask you how important it is for an entrepreneur to have a basic knowledge of IT sector and have a basic know-how of technical stuff. Because being an entrepreneur myself, I know I have experienced a lot of difficulties in technical sector and I have to learn things just so I can reduce my cost. And it is important from my side, I can say that it is important for an entrepreneur to have technical knowledge, at least basic technical knowledge. So I would like to ask you, from your point of view, how much it is important for an entrepreneur?
See, I'll quote you from my own PhD research, because I did my doctorate in technical entrepreneurship. So one of the most important thing which the word I had coined in my research was need for professionalism. You know, need for achievement. You must have heard of that, which has been coined by Professor McClelland from Harvard University. So I coined that word in my research, need for professionalism. Techno-economic ethical approach in whatever I am doing. That is need for professionalism. And that was part of my research. Now, when I said techno, now there is a need of IT. I gave my last week, our first year engineering department, we call it as HAS, Humanities and Social Sciences Department in Atharva. They arranged a lecture by one of my classmates, who is 65, 66 years old, same as me. But he was always Dominion first. Throughout Dominion first, means first in first at the university level. Of course, at our time, there was only one engineering college in the university. So if you are first in the class, you are first in the university. But the beauty of his study was, when we were in the hostels, after coming back from exam, he used to study the same subject first, जिसकी एग्जाम दी है. मैंने एक बार उसे पूछा, इन्हें भी सुनील रहता था. अरे सुनील ऐसे क्या करते हो आप? मतलब सुनील रहता था, आप ऐसे क्या करते हो? एग्जाम से आने के बाद पहले वो सब्जेक्ट स्टडी करते हो, बाद में अगला सब्जेक्ट देखते हो. इससे डायरेक्ट जिंदगी के एग्जाम में तो ऑप्शन नहीं है. जो मैं नहीं लिख पाया, जो मुझे नहीं आया, वो मैं पहले कंप्लीट करूंगा. And he delivered a lecture. We are all mechanical engineers. At our time, I'll tell you, when I was in the final year of engineering, a trip was arranged from Aurangabad to Mumbai. And the purpose of this industrial visit was to see a computer. Mainframe was the time. You'll be knowing that generation 2, generation 3 of the mainframe, that was the time. So we came to a place, we were taken to some place. There was a big hall. There were about 7-8 cupboards and lot of cards being punched and card punching machine. And we were shown everything from the glass. They said, "Jo andar dikh raha hai na, wo pura ek computer hai." And the capacity of that computer used to be less than what you have in your smartphone today. So now that person, Sunil Rathata, recently he delivered a talk on engineering mechanics and how to design the product in mechanical engineering. He manufactures the machines to make the tanks, to plastic tanks, water storage tanks, and sells in about 60 countries today. But at the age of 65, he is trying to learn a new software, which is open source software, which he can use in designing his new products. Because many components I can directly use and try. What is important is that whether I can do the simulation and trial and simulation method rather than wasting a lot of money. So if someone has to do it at the age of 65, at the age of 25, definitely you have to use it. So IT being a tool, as an entrepreneur, you must use it. You must know how to use it. Whatever kind of a... See, I'll give you an example. Saurabh Jain. He recently resigned from the post of Vice President at Paytm. He is the person who made Paytm popular in our country. Paytm is a startup of India, funded by Japanese. And it is such a big success story that Japanese people want to pump more money in Paytm. And the company doesn't want money to come, because then there is more and more equity partnership from there. So what Saurabh Jain was telling recently was in one of our programs of entrepreneurship. Then we have an IES. Madam, if you are an entrepreneur, you can think of attending some program of IES, Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Startup Forum of Maharashtra. And we have 250 engineering colleges associated with this. We started that in the month of April 2020. The person who started used to always call me. Somewhere he came to know about me and then he got my number and started calling me. कैसे करा जाएगा सर, क्या करेंगे, कैसे करेंगे स्टेट में, and then we got a leadership at the state level. So Saurabh Jain's lecture we had arranged on the same platform for Amravati University for their startup ecosystem. They have 5 CR budgeted incubation center at Amravati. Most of the universities have such types of incubation centers now. And he was saying, मैं क्या करता था बोले, ठेले वाले के पास जाता था, उसे पूछता था यार तू क्यों नहीं पेटीएम यूज करता है, क्या प्रॉब्लम है तेरा, वो खुले दिल से प्रॉब्लम बोलता था. Then I come and solve those problems. So the smallest customer, if I treat him to be the king and apply my knowledge of IT, I can have a big success story like Paytm. And now what Saurabh Jain is doing at present, he is working on his own startup. Gamification of education is the future of education system. Everything taught through games, the person understands better the principles behind that. So gamification in education for school children, he is coming up like Byju's. He is presently working on that. He left the job. Presently, he is working on that. And maybe shortly, all the schools in India will start using games to teach different subjects. Madam, this is the application of IT. But what is important is that go to your smallest customer if you are working with masses. ठेले वाला भी अपना king है उसकी जगह. The moment I accept that every customer is a king and I have to think of systems of mass customization. Future is systems of mass customization. Means every customer's needs are different. I'm going to satisfy that. Then when I apply, I always deliver lectures on mass customization in higher and technical education. 2 days back, I think Bhavin sir was there. Personally, we did it for government of Gujarat from here, the same place. And we were talking about mass customization to match the manpower needs of Industry 4.0. They had an AICTE sponsored program. Now what I need to do is that I must understand the need of every student is different. I must convert my present courses into nano courses, capsule courses. अगर हम एक कोर्स 40 घंटा पढ़ा रहे हैं तो हम 4 ही घंटा पढ़ेंगे. And instead of teaching 20 courses in MBA, we will teach 100 courses of 5 hours duration each. And now if you are going to have a specialization in IT or systems, maybe 60% of the courses you are taking from your basic discipline, 20% you are taking from humanities, social sciences, economics, psychology, sociology and all that. And 20% are certain other courses like classical music, classical dance. Why I was doing an audit of VIT Pune. You would be knowing, VIT or VIM, Vishwakarma Institute of Management Pune. It's one of the popular institutions. So they have a flagship institute, VIT Pune, and it was a Tech institute. So I was doing an audit. And it was almost 7:30 p.m. And I came out of the office of the directors, Mr. Bankar, and I saw डायरेक्टर के केबिन के बाहर बच्चे कार्ड्स खेल रहे. मैं वापस गया, आज सबकर सर क्या है ये, आपके केबिन के बाहर बच्चे कार्ड्स खेल रहे, ताश खेल रहे. He said, I am one of the best player of bridge. Bridge as a game, and bridge develops the analytical thought process. So I teach bridge to the students. अभी आप जाओ सर तो कि मैं इनको ब्रिज पढ़ाऊं. And through the bridge, I am going to develop their analytical ability. So this is the beauty of mass customization. मैं थोड़ा नीचे गया ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे कोई कथक कर रहा है कोई हाँ कर रहा है गाना गा रहा है. That all is part of education system. Engineering कॉलेज में ये सब जरूरी है. मैनेजमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट में ये हर चीज जरूरी है. There are few management institutes you start their classes with yoga. And the fees is 15 lakhs. I know one of the management institutions. You will come to college at 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. you are busy in the college. Suppose you want to learn corporate planning, business analytics. Someone who has got 1000 CR plus, or the example given was 1 lakh CR, is the turnover. The CEO of the company will teach you for 2 hours. So you are learning from horse's mouth what is corporate planning. So the same thing, this is mass customization. So if I am an entrepreneur, I must know where and how much IT I have to use. I am giving an example कि छोटा किराना शॉप वाला भी आज IT यूज कर रहा है, पेटीएम यूज कर रहा है, गूगल पे यूज कर रहा है. He has understood कि without this I cannot survive. Someone like Saurabh Jain has taught him to do that. Okay, in our country. This is something like role of IT in the life of an entrepreneur. It depends on what.
Yes, sir. We have to blend with it.
Yeah. Sorry, you might have found that I have a habit of going little here and there, giving examples of the same field and from different fields.
No, so that's actually great because if we ask you just one question and you just stick to that question, we'll just get a bit of knowledge. But when you go here and there, we get a vast knowledge and we get an idea of other things also. And as you mentioned that Industry 4.0 has been on a rise, especially, and I have been pretty lucky that I had an episode of IT Talks with Bhavin sir also, and that was the main discussion topic wherein we discussed about Industrial Revolution 4.0. I asked the same question to sir also. I guess you have answered it a bit, but I'll still ask you once again that there are companies, especially when we talk about India. IT is a very developed kind of a sector, but with a country like India, which is still developing. So there are still companies or there are still organizations which believe to go in the traditional way and don't adopt to the technology or don't come in hand with IT, and they say that they are not believing in, or else they say that IT is something which is invading their privacy. So how would you, what would you like to convey to those, or what would be your suggestion to such organizations and companies who are reluctant to adopt change?
Yes, more and more knowledge about cyber security is important. Why people are afraid of it? Because of the cyber security. And then I need to understand that to what extent I can expose my information to others, and then where I need not, what kind of gadget I should use for what purpose depending on my needs, and all those things. Maybe you know some big businessmen, they use an ordinary phone, and the number in that ordinary phone is connected to all their financial accounts. So it is only for the talking and SMS purpose. Rest of the things they will do for somewhere else. So that more and more knowledge about cyber security is important. But it is again a game of police and thief. More you try to develop your systems, more someone else will also try to understand the technology and create problems for you to face it. So ये जो चोर पुलिस वाला गेम है ना, ये तो चलते रहेगा, ये नहीं रुकेगा, क्योंकि चोर तो रहेंगे, दुनिया में चोर तो रहेंगे. और आईटी से क्या हो गया है कि मैं कहीं भी बैठूं और कहीं भी चोरी करूं ना. पहले ऐसा होता था कि भाई पैसा कहाँ रखते हैं, तो पेड़ के नीचे जमीन में गाड़ के रखते थे. आज क्या कर रहे हो आप, बिटकॉइन में क्या रख रहे हो. Now you are keeping money or you are going to invest in bitcoins, you must understand what are the various types of bitcoins. and what are the security levels, what is public, what is private transactions, and all those things. So people are scared, naturally people will be scared, and it is inversely proportional to age. More the age, more is that scariness. Even I personally do not make payments to everyone. What I do, I will transfer to account of my son or my niece who stays with me. I say, आप आगे का पैसा भेज दो, मेरा account कहीं expose ना हो जाए. Because I am weak in cyber security. The younger generation is not. So that is something which people have a feeling that yes, that is the problem, that each individual has become a product. When I give you an example, statistics, the moment you go to the airport, I have no privacy. Everyone knows that I have reached here. I'll give you an example, very crude example. S.B. Chauhan, Shankara Chauhan was the Home Minister of India. He's no more now. And his son Ashok Chauhan was a former Chief Minister and now also is in the ministry, I think irrigation. अशोक राव के बेटे का सालगिरह था. अशोक वाज इन, हम तो हमसे छोटा है एंड वी बिलोंग टू द सेम प्लेस, तो हम उनको अशोक बोलते थे, चौहान साहब अशोक बोलते थे. तो I went to Delhi for some work and with my principal who was knowing S.B. Chauhan because he was a person who created that AGGS institute, man behind that whole activity. So we went to his office. And we met Mr. Jain, who was his personal secretary. And he said, "साहब से 5 मिनट मिलना है, just कुछ नहीं, hello कहने के लिए." He said, "Yes, साहब बहुत busy है, लेकिन आपको तो मिलेंगे because आप तो उनके कॉलेज से आए हो." And which is very close to his heart. Now he showed me 5 tickets of airlines which will move from Delhi to Mumbai in 1 hour's duration or 1.5 hours duration. He said, पोते के सालगिरह करने के लिए जा रहे हैं तो he will not use the government aeroplane. He will fly with one of these tickets, but which ticket he will use, no one will be knowing because all the 5 tickets will be with him. He will choose by which flight I am going to fly. And that's the level of security. And all these 4 commandos, they had come when we were sitting there. And Mr. Jain was instructing them कि आज राजधानी से आप पहुंचो ताकि आप एयरपोर्ट कर समय पे पहुंचो. That's the level of personal security. But same thing is case of financial security also. Let others do not know from which account you are going to pay for what, which account you are going to use. Or people say you keep on changing the password. Sometimes people, young generation starts changing. They understand only one thing. किसी ने बोला है, keep on changing the password. My granddaughter, she's 10 years old. She started changing the password for the mobile tab she's using for the school every day. And one day she forgot. So I had to take the tab to Samsung Gallery, reformat, reinstall and bring it back. Even the children at 10 years age, they are trying to learn. From some source, YouTube, they learn that password change करना पड़ता है. अभी इसके टाइम में कौन सा ऐसा बड़ा डेटा है? But as a game, kept on changing. But then these are the techniques. They will learn. Young people will learn and then they will use it. Whereas we are the people, we never change our PIN, we never change our passwords. Because if we change it, we'll forget it. So what we will do, we'll not give access of our information to the people in whom we believe. Now all my passwords are known to Professor Bhavin Shah. Most of my passwords are known to my personal PA in Atharva. Because if I forget, she will tell me, sir, आपके इस email ID का ये password है. Something like I have to believe in someone. Okay? So this is the importance of IT and security. People are scared because of the security. They must be trained. We need to have a lot of training programs. मैं थोड़ा अलग example दूंगा आपको. आपने एक गाना सुना है, मेरा जूता है जापानी, याद है? मेरी पटलून इंग्लिस्तानी, सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी। इसके पीछे ना बहुत बड़ा इंडस्ट्रियल सेगमेंट का सिचुएशन है उस टाइप का। मेरा जूता है जापानी मीन्स वर्स्ट। In 60s, something does not work. People used to ask, it must be made in Japan, so it's not working. Anything worse means made in Japan. That's why that song, Mera Juta Hai Japan, ekdam kachra juta hai. Patloon Englistani. During Second World War, there was ample shortage of clothes in Britain. So they came up with a fashion, what you say, 3/4 now. It was little longer than 3/4, 6 inches up short from a normal pant. But if every individual is saving 6 inches, then with every 6 people, one more person is getting a pant. So patloon English style. कितना बड़ा उसके पीछे खेल था. And then सब पे लाल टोपी means comrade thinking, hot temper. Now that situation, मेरा जूता है जापानी, Japan decided that we will be the best in the world. And then a nationwide education on quality started. JUSE, JUSE, Japanese Union of Scientists and Engineers, started offering radio programs to whole population. I will produce something quality provided I am quality conscious in my life for everything. So there is a nationwide development of quality consciousness. And the result is anything made by Japan is the best in the world today. From Mera Juta Hai Japani to this level. You go to any part of the world, you will find Toyota cars. Recently, Mr. Toyota was delivering a lecture at Babson. Madam, you are entrepreneur. Have you ever seen the website of Babson College? Please see that. Babson College in Boston. They are the world leaders in entrepreneurship development. So Mr. Toyota, who is the CEO of the company today, I have forgotten his first name, is a student of Babson. So, like this, at mass scale, people will have to be taught about cybersecurity. I give you this example was this. They did nationwide training on quality consciousness. They came up with a concept called Kaizen. What is Kaizen? Little different from your topic. There is a concept called Shiva Parvati Samvad. Sabhi ko pata hai. Shiva was telling Parvati how to develop human being as a human being. So this Shiva Parvati Samvad went to China, became Zen sect. It moved to Japan, it became Kaizen, continuous improvement as a technique. And now if you see Kaizen and Shiva Parvati Samvad together, you find that yes, there is a reason to connect the two. There is one Kaizen consultant, Mr. Shyam Talodekar in Mumbai. And he introduced the philosophy of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which is the philosophy of India, as the ultimate thing in Kaizen. Continuous improvement to level that you became a moksha, reach to moksha level. And all the Japanese counterparts started criticizing Shyam Talodekar. And that was the time when I was working on my project of Vedic philosophy to develop the enterprising personality. And in the process, I realized that it also develops the Kaizen consciousness. I published one paper in an international conference organized by PSG Institute of Technology, Coimbatore. It's one of the best engineering colleges in the country. And someone told Mr. Shyam, he was working for Cummins India, as a consultant. So he used to come to Pune frequently, and I was the principal of AISMS college, you mentioned just now. So, and he was working with one of the professors who was former HOD of production engineering at VJTI Mumbai. That professor was knowing me, and then someone introduced me, sir, खुद Kaizen में काम करते हैं. So we used to stay in that President Hotel at Shivang, Pune, and we used to have dinner together. I was also alone. ज़्यादा काम नहीं रहता था तो रोज शाम में जाते थे जब भी शाम जी बुलाएंगे. We used to have dinner together, and then he said, sir, ऐसा problem हुआ है. तो मैंने उनको ये पेपर देखो. I have proved in this paper that yes, ancient Indian philosophy of Vedic knowledge is responsible for developing Kaizen consciousness. He said, आपका पेपर मुंह पे मारूंगा जापानीज लोगों के और फिर से ये चैप्टर इंट्रोड्यूस करूंगा मेरे बुक में. Something like this. So the world always says, आपने सिल्वा माइंड कंट्रोल टेक्निक सुना होगा, जो सिल्वा था, which is one of the management techniques. जो सिल्वा talks about जो हमारे यहाँ कंसेप्ट है ना, स्थूल शरीर, सूक्ष्म शरीर एंड कार्यकारण शरीर, ये भाव है वेदों ने दिए हुए हर इंसान के. इसी का वो यूज करते हैं, बट एट द एंड ही सेज दिस इज नॉट ड्रॉन फ्रॉम इंडियन फिलोसॉफी. इट हैज नथिंग टू डू विद इंडिया. डजंट मैटर. द वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड विल नेवर allow us to grow, even in these concepts also. But when I was teaching this silver mind control techniques, I was finding that yes, we are applying. And if I apply direct knowledge of Vedic philosophy, I can develop a concept which is far better than these concepts. So we must understand the treasure of knowledge. I was in Germany 2-3 times. One German scientist was talking to me. He said, you are Indians, you worship Vedas. We are Germans, we study Veda and then apply it. That is the difference between you and us. आप खाली पूजा करते बैठते हो उस बुक की, हम उसको स्टडी करते हैं, उसको नॉलेज में यूज करते हैं. बट Germans are the people who recognize at global level and say it openly. Yes, this is from the Vedic knowledge. We agree with that. Whereas other parts, you go to US, you go to any other developing countries, they say no, this has nothing to do with Indian philosophy. Anyway, in spite of all these things, जो खरा है वो कभी छुपता नहीं. And the beauty is you to go into depth of any subject and you will find that ultimately you will have something from Vedic philosophy. Let it be any technology, anything. This I am telling you from my research, my experience. I did my postdoctoral research applying Vedic philosophy to develop enterprising personality. And this was funded by AIC. So it's possible. Let's know what we have and how can make use of that in whichever field I'm going to. Thank you. We can go for the next question if you wish.
Yes, sir. As we all know that pandemic has affected all the sectors throughout the world. Like we know, everything is now online, shifted from offline. The classes, the business meetings also, and all the lectures, all the seminars, events, everything is now online. So, according to your point of view, how do you think the pandemic has affected the IT sector? Is it positive, is it negative, or it is neutral?
See, when the pandemic started, it was negative. But IT is a sector which quickly matches with the changes. And then they realized that these big buildings where we call the people, ask them to work is no more required. If I develop better connectivity to my employees, let them be comfortable, let them work from home. I was talking to someone, I don't remember. There is a change. If you are working from company, you get 7% extra pay. If you work from Mumbai, Pune, where the company is there, you get the normal pay. If you shift to your hometown, your pay is reduced by 10%, 20%. IT sector has realized the importance of this. Be comfortable at your hometown, have a nice connectivity, spend more money on bandwidth, सवेरे शाम खेतों में घूमो, no question of pollution, 20% less salary. So IT is now earning money out of that. Someone will say कि नहीं वो बड़ा अच्छा लगता है गांव में रहने से. I don't mind taking 20% less salary because यहाँ पे तो मुझे 40% भी कम मिला तो भी चलेगा, खर्चे ही किए जाता है. मुंबई में अगर मैं 40,000 पर मंथ का रेंट देता था मलाड जैसे एरिया में फॉर 2 BHK और 3 BHK फ्लैट, मेरा वो तो 40,000 बच गया है. If my salary is 2 lakhs, doesn't matter. Even if I get 20% less, so 40,000 जो यहाँ दे रहा था वो घर में रुक रहा हूँ. Something like this. So companies are coming up with various solutions. They are coming up with cubicles. They have understood that when you are at home, you have difficulties, you have problems. So they are ready to provide you cubicles at your place which are foldable in nature so that it doesn't take much space. You can fold it. You at 9 o'clock you open your office, at 7 PM you close it. So these kind of foldable furnitures are being provided. You are provided with the best and best laptops. They are spending money on these things rather than spending on the rent of the buildings they were hiring at that time. So IT has immediately come out of that because they know that the only constant thing in our life is the change. If we change with the change, that is good. If we don't change with the change will change us. And when the change will change us, that change will be very costly. So they are the people who can immediately master the technology switch on faster. And because of that, now they are not affected. Rather, they are earning more. That's why shares of blue chip, आपको क्यों बोला यार blue chip company में invest करो? They are the people who are going to earn money in time to come. So naturally, they are the people who have switched from their old method to the new method faster than others. Another is education sector, especially higher and technical education sector. Take example of Atharva College of Engineering. We were practicing hybrid education, anytime, anywhere learning since almost 2015 in our own college. So what I was doing is to tell our teachers, out of 50 hours of syllabus, 5 hours you must teach from home. Students must attend the lecture from home. So we had few platforms like IQAC. Of course, the Google Classroom was also there when it was, but only free version. And then our HOD computer came up with an idea that 10 EN बहुत अच्छा है. I had already introduced MOOCs when I joined this college. So we were the highest level of MOOCs user next to IIT Mumbai. And the whole system was developed by 20 students and 1 professor from computer engineering department. This worked for almost 6 months. We developed the MOOCs, which is an open source for Atharva College of Engineering, to the extent that we were now next to IIT Mumbai. We use MOOCs. Same thing happened with the CN platform. So Mahendra Patil came with the idea कि सर ये 10 ईयर तो बड़ा अच्छा है, इसका जितना ओपन सोर्स में है ना उतना यूज करते हैं, जितना पेमेंट वाला है वो छोड़ देते हैं. So why it happened? Again, I am telling you the story behind that. In 2003, I visited Berlin to attend a conference, Online Educa Berlin. Almost from the year 2000, there was a realization that online education is going to be the future of education. 20 years back before pandemic. So when I went there in 2003, literally I did not understand anything what people are talking about. What is e-learning? क्या चल रहा है? Literally मैं जैसे गया था वैसे वापस आया. मराठी में एक कहावत है नळे फुंके सोनारे इकडून तिकडे जाते वारे. मीन्स इधर से गया इधर से बाहर निकला, मुझे कुछ नहीं समझा. आने के बाद बट माय मैनेजमेंट वाज वेरी हैप्पी. आई मीन चल तो यूरोप तो गया है. They gave me 1 week Euro rail first class pass. My boss gave me 1 lakh rupee. और ऊपर से फायरिंग. इसमें से एक पैसा बचाएगा तो गाली खाएगा मेरी. मतलब क्या है कि तबीयत नहीं खराब कर देना है. I mean, he used to treat me like his son. And he was the brother-in-law of His Highness of Kallulkar. So His Highness का सब क्वालिटी था उनमें. चल कॉन्फ्रेंस हो गया, मैं जा रहा हूँ वापिस. तो 8 दिन घूम के आ. मैं घूम के तो आया. मैंने कहा सर मैं किसी यूनिवर्सिटी जाता हूँ, इधर जाता हूँ, कुछ लेके आता. नहीं तुझे घूमने क्या बोला है ना, तू पहले जा सिर्फ आईफिल टावर देख. And he gave me a phone with global roaming facility, his own. And every day, 3 times he used to call me. गया जहाँ बोला था. In the process, he was testing me. Can I move alone? Because that was my first Europe tour. And whether I can move comfortably alone for 7 days. He was testing me for that. By spending that 1.5 lakhs rupees. But I realized about that little later. And then he wanted me to solve so many problematic issues for that organization. We could solve it, and then there was a big story behind that. Pune University Teachers Association was fined by Mumbai High Court for having put a case against us. And it was first time in the history of Pune University that the Teachers Association was fined by the High Court. He created a history for that. He wanted to use my skill set for that, but before that he tested me in Europe. मैं कर सकता हूँ अकेला कुछ ऐसा. It's a different way of testing the capacity of a person. Now, after that, 2007, I was joined another college where I was a founder principal. You mentioned my boss was a big industrialist, because the top boss was Vilas Foundation, who was Chief Minister of Maharashtra at that time. But immediate boss was an industrialist whose turnover was 300 CR and who was marching towards 1000 CR. He said, उस कॉन्फ्रेंस में फिर से जाओ, लेकिन ये टाइम कुछ लेके आया, खाली हाथ आएगा तो गाली खाएगा. I went. In fact, first time I went to Berlin via Frankfurt. He said, कैसे फ्लाइट बुक करा है? मैंने सब फ्रैंकफर्ट से जाता हूँ. मुझे उतना ही मालूम था कि फ्रैंकफर्ट जाते हैं, फ्रैंकफर्ट से बर्लिन जाते हैं. आगे ले गया. बोले फ्रैंकफर्ट कोई जाता है क्या? 8 घंटा फ्लाइट में बैठेगा. You go to Switzerland, go to Zurich, 6 hours, change the flight, go to directly Berlin. उनका पासपोर्ट ऐसा होता था कि उनको ठप्पा बंद की जगह नहीं, इसलिए उनको नया पासपोर्ट देना होता था. That was the level he used to travel. But he was knowing कि इससे तो कुछ वापस मंगाना है. तो उन्होंने मुझे बहुत टेंशन में भेजा 2007. And I was attending that conference. I could give one example. There was one keynote address. It was being arranged in a hall of 1000 capacity and 200 people were sitting on floor. And it was attended by 2000 people from 95 different countries who were knowing the importance of future of online education in 2007. So, and there were about 300 stalls by various global service providers in online education. And I was tense. क्या लेके जाऊँ? And I was knowing if I had to go for learning management system, then there are 2 giants, global giants, Web City and Blackboard. So I went to a stall. One American very senior professor was standing there. So I requested him, sir, I need your guidance. Should I go for Blackboard or Web City for my new college? He was at least 10 years elder to me. उन्होंने मेरे पीठ पे ऐसा हाथ रखा, आज आप कॉफी पीते हैं. said, come, we'll have a coffee. Because he didn't want to discuss anything on that platform there. And on the coffee table, he said, all the universities of Western world have burned billions of dollars in testing online education systems. They try, they spend, and they throw. बीइंग फ्रॉम इंडिया, डेवलपिंग कंट्री, तू ऐसे मत कर, जो भी ओपन सोर्स में है ना उतना ही उतना ही यूज कर. एंड देन ही इंट्रोड्यूस मी टू बुक्स. बुक्स यूज कर. ये बाकी हम लोग जो मार्केटिंग कर रहे हैं ना वो कुछ मत ले. And there immediately one person came, sir, we can tell you in using the books. I said, okay, fine. After going back to Pune, I'll get back to you. एक बात मैंने आज तक मन में ठान ली है, ये जो आईटी फील्ड जब एजुकेशन में वापरना है ना, पैसा नहीं खर्चा करना है, जो करना है फोकट में करना है, दूसरे के पैसे से करना है, और मेहनत बहुत करना है. So when we introduced books in Atharva, that batch of 20 students, 6 months, you worked day and night. They became so passionate. रात में भी घर नहीं जाते थे कभी कभी वो बच्चे. लैब ओपन करके दी थी फर्स्ट फ्लोर वाली लैब 10, वहाँ पर काम करते. देन महेंद्र पाटिल सेठ, सर ये 10 ईयर भी ऐसी है, तो हमने 10 ईयर इम्प्लीमेंट करना चालू किया. कैन यू इमेजिन, देयर आर 7,000 यूजर्स ऑफ 10 ईयर इन इंडिया, out of which 3,500 users are from Atharva. It attracted the interest of CEO of the company. He said, I have not yet come to India. We had 2-3 times virtual meetings with him. And he was trying to say me, we supply this to California State University, we supply to Cambridge, we supply to Stanford and all that. This learning management system. We charge $20 per student per year. When we work with NTU, Nanyang Technical University in Singapore, we charge only $10 because we know the Asian universities, we are paying for it. आपके अथर के लिए हम $5 ही यूज करें और चार्ज करें. Immediately my mind starts. अमेरिकन प्रोफेसर ने मुझे बोला है कि नहीं, एक ढेला नहीं खर्चना है. हम उसकी मीठी मीठी बात करते थे उनके साथ, और हम इतना देखते थे कि वो हमें ब्लॉक ना करते, 10 ईयर यूज करते थे. एंड फाइनली थर्ड मीटिंग से चल पैसा मत दे, यू बिकम एम्बेसडर फॉर एशिया. बस अथर्वा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग बिकम एम्बेसडर फॉर एशिया. आप सही मेरा मार्केटिंग करो, आप जो कर रहे हो आप सब पूरी दुनिया को बताओ विद इन योर कंटेनर, आपको मैं सब फ्री देता हूँ. That happened because we are the major users of the CM platform. So what happened? Pandemic was announced in last week of March, around 24th of March. But before that, on 20th of March, Atharva management took a decision that no one will come to campus. And every issue it was trying to understand how one can survive in this kind of situation. And then 24th, the complete nationwide lockdown was announced. And many of the colleges were not able to learn. I mean, students were not able to learn. In Atharva, making use of VisaIQ this year, even this Google Classroom free version, for VisaIQ we are spending only 30,000 rupees per annum for a single user lesson with 100 students. और उसी को घुमाते थे 30,000 रुपए. And the teachers of this college, including Dr. Bhavin Shah, who is sitting here, they taught 1,000 hours of teaching in the month of April 2020. Hours in the history. And 700 hours of practicals took place because in 2016, a group of 5 teachers from College of Engineering Pune at their own cost came and trained us in virtual lab facilities, which are being established by Government of India, Minister of HRD at that time, the budget of 200 CR. They said, Atharva में खाली आप यूज करो, एक पैसा नहीं खर्चा करना है, हमारा आने जाने का खर्चा भी हम खुद करेंगे, हम आपको सिर्फ ट्रेनिंग देके जाएंगे. तो मैंने क्या किया था 5 साल में, 4 साल में, 16 से 20 तक एक एक्सपेरिमेंट पर सब्जेक्ट आपको वर्चुअल लैब में ही करना है. नो स्टूडेंट विल डू इट इन दैट कैंपस. So the infrastructure and manpower, students and teachers was ready for online education. And because of that, 1,000 hours of teaching and 700 hours of laboratory work took place in Atharva College of Engineering in the month of April 2020. Also, we started self-learning courses from 2015 onwards. No, I mean, yeah. MOOCs courses, then Coursera courses, Udemy courses. We used to motivate the students कि ये course करो beyond Mumbai University syllabus. इससे आपका employability बढ़ेगा. So that culture had already started. So by either 2019, 6,600 students had taken various courses from Coursera and Udemy. If the student is willing, he will pay $100 and get the certificate. Otherwise, he used to say, कि course complete करो, receive the certificate of accomplishment in that, and be happy without money. Don't spend. We used to ask our students, don't spend. If you are happy with the certificate, okay, pay $100 and then collect the certificate. Most of their Coursera courses. Plus the open course layer of MIT Boston. We used to ask our teachers to use that in the classroom. So this way, education and IT sector had changed with the change faster than any other sector. आज तो हमारे स्कूल टीचर भी पढ़ा रहे हैं, जिला परिषद के कितने ऐसे टीचर्स हैं बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से ऑनलाइन में पढ़ा रहे हैं. They have created their own examples. What is important is we need to bring them as the best practices. अभी हमने एक select किया है about 20 teachers whose rating by the students in online education is the best. I am talking to these 20 teachers. आपने क्या किया? Because of which you are one of the best teacher in online education. जो ऑफलाइन में बेस्ट थे, वो फीडबैक में अभी ऑनलाइन में नहीं है. ऑनलाइन में दूसरा कोई टीचर है. So we are coming up with the best practices of Atharva College of Engineering in online education. उसका एक comparison कर रहे हैं. And slowly we are trying to develop, I mean not develop, but support the pedagogy of online education. Now, एक बहुत बड़ा ऐसा रिसर्च सेंटर वो बीवीवी कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग हुबली, एआईसीटी के चेयरमैन उनके स्टूडेंट थे. सुधा मूर्ति इज देयर स्टूडेंट. Sudha Murthy has given them a center of innovation by spending 6 years to her alma mater in the name of her father, Dr. Kulkarni. So whenever I go there as auditor, generally start talking about Sudha Murthy and Professor Sasrabuddhe. कि इन्होंने मदद कैसे की है. अब जो एग्जामिनेशन रिफॉर्म एआईसीटी का आया आपने सुना होगा. You would have heard that there are examination reforms. And AICT is talking about these examination reforms. That all is developed by that BVB College of Engineering, Hubli. They are the pioneers to do that. They practice that in their college. Professor Sasrabuddhe was their advisor even before he became chairman of AICT. At that time he was director of College of Engineering, Pune. And then he realized that now the whole nation needs to follow this. He said these are the examination reforms now recommended by AICT. And Professor Theory, who is the principal of that college, used to move from all corners of country and train the people for these examination reforms. So, what they have done, they have created a center of engineering education, especially for online education. They have started offering PhD program in online education. Online engineering education में KLE Tech University आज PhD offer कर रहे हैं. In the process, what they are doing, they are developing a pedagogy for future generations to follow in online education. So that is the beauty of makeshift capacity, which is proven by IT sector as well as the education sector in the world. So I think this is an answer for your question, in my opinion.
Yes, sir, definitely. You have answered a lot of questions which were unasked also. There were some questions lined up as I was thinking, as you told everything about what is the role and how will this pandemic affect the IT sector. Majorly, one thing which I wanted to ask is, as you previously told that development of skills or whatever students want to do, for them it is very much important for them to realize what they want to do, and then they will understand how they need to do it. On the other end, wherein I wanted to ask you that how that what are the things that teachers and colleges can do for the students. And you beautifully answered that there are courses, Coursera, Udemy. There are a lot of courses. Like I consider myself as very lucky that I am associated with such an institute who does a lot for the students. So you answered that question also very beautifully.
I'll answer your question. How to make the student to understand what he needs. Basically, the fundamental principle of education is any other business, give what customer wants. But in education sector, give what customer needs. We agree, student is a customer. But here we offer something which the customer needs and not the customer wants. So a lot of counseling needs to be done. What you need. What is your passion? What is your goal setting? We have to help our students to go for goal setting in their life. And once they go for goal setting, whatever skills are required, that skill set needs to be offered out of the education system. And for that, you need to have a nano degree program kind of things. So what is happening? Now, new education policy has already supported this, 2020. And recently, I think about 1.5 months back, ना भाभी वो मेरे कैबिन में बैठ के एक प्रोग्राम दे रहे थे, मास कस्टमाइजेशन इन हायर एजुकेशन. 2 महीना हो गया उसको. आपने वो कौन सा SLR कैमरा लाया था? I always ask Bhavin because he only helps me for doing all these things. So one day before that, UGC had issued a circular, I think almost 2 months back, that we want to have credit transfer facility within the country and across the globe also. So what are the ideas from academicians? So this way that circular came to me, give certain ideas. Like yesterday, I got a phone call from NIRF, पता है? National Institute for I think Ranking, Institutional Ranking, NIRF ranking. तो पहले तो NIRF ranking हो गया 2 महीना पहले. उसमें वो लिस्ट भी आ गई NIRF में कौन कितना पानी में है. So I am a peer reviewer for NIRF for Ministry of Education. Then they recently realized that research institute is a different category. So we should have a ranking of research institutes separate. अभी आपको एक आधे महीने में आ जाएगा वो पेपर में. तो कल yesterday was the last day for us to give the feedback. And because of some reason we were busy in that, this, that, and both. आजकल वो lecture भी बहुत हो रहे हैं because some of our lectures have become popular for AICT programs. So every alternate day I trouble भाभी चल भाई मेरा lecture arrange कर इसके लिए गुजरात के लिए किया. उससे पहले और किसी कॉलेज पुणे के AISMS कॉलेज के लिए किया जहाँ मैं पहले प्रिंसिपल था, जिन्होंने मुझे यूरोप भेजा था. उससे पहले गवर्नमेंट पॉलिटेक्निक एक बोली मराठवाड़ा उनके लिए 3-4. AICT is flooding these government institutions and India accredited institutions with programs on innovation and entrepreneurship. And because and startup ecosystem. And because of that, I am getting calls almost every day कि हमारे प्रोग्राम में सर एक लेक्चर दीजिए. So the whole idea is now UGC is trying to develop a conducive environment to implement the new education policy 2020. The difference between earlier education policy right from Kothari Commission, which was the first education policy for government after independence in 60s, till this NEP 2020. The difference is this present government is trying to develop this, understand, I am not supporting any political party on this platform. But the difference between the present government at national level and the earlier governments is there used to be policies which were never got implemented. So what the present government is doing, they are trying to develop the conducive environment to implement the policy. So what is going to happen? Students will take admission for subjects and not for the program. And the university will have a credit bank. अब जैसे पैसा जमा करते हो ना बैंक में, हर महीना कुछ थोड़ा थोड़ा पैसा आरडी करके जमा करते हो और बाद में 1 लाख रुपया तो बोलते नहीं इसका एफडी कर दो. नहीं तो नहीं, ये 1 लाख रुपया अभी मुझे निकालना है, थोड़ा 2 तोला सोना खरीदना है, something like this. Now what I will do, whatever I want to learn from time to time, I will keep on learning from various sources which are part of this system of credit transfer facility. Mumbai University will have credit transfer facility with its own 500 institutions plus 5,000 institutions globally. So you will be able to learn as a student of Mumbai University from 5,500 institutions. Each institute having 100 teachers, almost 5 lakh professors. You have a choice to learn from 5 lakh professors. So you will learn from any one of them who is the best in that subject. You will choose as a student, the teacher. And we will not be able to dictate on you. I always talk to these people. अरे जॉब चले जाएंगे इस तरीके से अगर पढ़ाते रहेंगे. I must research and teach if I am a teacher. Then only I will be able to face this global competition. If I don't research and teach, if I read from the books and teach, I'll be out of business as a teacher. And as a student, customer, you can learn from any one of these 5 lakh teachers all over the globe. Any course. You learn that course, get your 1 or 2 credits, put it in the bank. You can decide your pace of learning. And because you can decide this all is inbuilt system for that new education policy of 2020. You will decide the pace of learning. नहीं यार मुझे तो ना MBA करना है लेकिन 8 साल में करना है. मुझे मेरा बिजनेस पहले देखना है. मैडम कैन से मुझे मेरा पहले बिजनेस देखना है. साइड बाय साइड थोड़ा पढ़ते रहूंगी. एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का कोर्स है ना, ये तो मैं वेबसन से ही करूंगी ना. यहाँ क्यों करूंगी? इंडिया में कोई इंस्टीट्यूट अच्छा नहीं है. अच्छा इंडिया में करना है तो इंडिया अहमदाबाद का कोर्स लूंगी. They are one of the best institutes in the country. If you are doing a business which is your family business, IDI Ahmedabad specializes in family business. How to take over your family business? They have a course on that. How to shift from your family business to the business in IT or whatever you want to do. घर में तो बोलेंगे अरे घर में इतना करोड़ों का बिजनेस पड़ा है, ये छोड़ के कहाँ अपना कुछ कर रहा है. मेरा खुद का रूम पार्टनर इंजीनियरिंग का, बी मैकेनिकल का, मेरे 2 रूम पार्टनर्स थे हॉस्टल में, क्योंकि 3 बच्चों में एक रूम होती है गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज में. आज भी एक को उसके पिताजी ने आड़त दुकान में बिठा दिया, ग्रोसरी होलसेल मार्केट. लेकिन कितना कमा रहा है? ही बिकेम इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर. कितना कमा रहा है एमएससीबी में? पापा उस टाइम 10,000 रुपए मैंने कमा. अरे मुनीम को हम 20,000 दे दे, 25,000 देते घर के, तो क्या कर रहा है? चल आके बैठ धंधे में, लग जा अपने पुराने धंधे में. Forget your electrical engineering. But being an engineer, he had that analytical mind. Because of that, what he did, he helped his father to grow the business multifold and told him about 20 years ago, Papa, जो कमाना है वाइट पे कमाएंगे, जाने दो 10 लाख रुपया 20 लाख रुपया इनकम टैक्स में. जब हम 20 लाख रुपया इनकम टैक्स में भरते हैं ना, तो हमारा कैपेसिटी और बढ़ता है. I mean, he followed that. His name is Mr. Nanda Kumar Chaudhary. दूसरा था राजा जैन, मेरा पार्टनर. He worked at some mechanical in Bosch in Nashik. बड़े भाई ने ऐसे ही बोल दिया, क्या कर रहा है, कितना कमा रहा है? 25,000. छोड़ दे, मेरा फार्मास्यूटिकल शॉप का होलसेल का बिजनेस है, इसमें का बॉम्बे मार्केट का सेगमेंट तुझे दे देता हूँ, चल इसमें तू कम से कम 1 लाख रुपया कमाएगा पर मंथ, समथिंग लाइक दिस. So now when I am going, now they did on their own, but when I am going doing that, IDI Ahmedabad can teach me a course on that, which I can learn there. And आज मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी की चलो इसका मुझे 2 क्रेडिट दे दो, मुझे वो मेरे कॉलेज के सब कोर्सेज नहीं पढ़ना है. So that flexibility is going to be there in new education policy. So this credit transfer facility, credit bank facility is going to change the complete scenario of education systems. The colleges will be teaching shops. आपको कौन सा ताजमहल चाहिए? ताजमहल चाहिए, सोसाइटी मांगते हो, चलो सोसाइटी भी रखता हूँ मैं, समथिंग लाइक दिस. हम आपको बोलेंगे आपको कौन सा MIT बोस्टन का कोर्स करवाना है, चलो अथर्व कॉलेज में से करवा के देते. हार्वर्ड का करवाना है, अथर्व से ही करवा के देते. So we'll have to develop our ways, means, systems and procedures. We have a tie-up with Harvard. Some professors in Harvard. अरे यार आपका कोर्स हम रन करने वाले मुंबई में. मुंबई के सब बच्चे हमारे कॉलेज में आएंगे. 10,000 बच्चे वो कोर्स में एडमिशन लेंगे and we will offer that course from Atharva. And the professor will hire from Harvard. I mean, that's going to be a new business model in education. That's going to come. And that is need of the time. Tejas Somaya University has already started practicing that. When you take admission in Tejas Somaya University, they will charge you subject wise. I'll give you one more example on this. When I went in 2007 to Berlin, I went to Technical University Berlin. I just wanted to see European universities कैसी होती है. And I had one free day, and I was just roaming near that river in Berlin. I saw one very big and very good building. It was so nice that I just stepped in that building. And after going there, I realized that that is a library of a technical university. हमारा जितना अथर्व का कैंपस है ना, उतनी वो 7 माले की बिल्डिंग थी, पूरा कैंपस यहाँ से वहां तक का, ओनली लाइब्रेरी. मैं गया तो मैं तो पागल हो गया, लेकिन 1 घंटे से ज्यादा नहीं टाइम वहां स्पेंड किया. मैंने बोला यूनिवर्सिटी, ये लाइब्रेरी आया तो यूनिवर्सिटी कहाँ है? तो जब उन्होंने कहा कि जो भी आपको आसपास में दिख रहा है सब यूनिवर्सिटी है. Their universities are not like our universities की जब उसको कंपाउंड वॉल होगी एंड ऑल दैट. Their universities are open-ended. MIT में जाओ, हार्वर्ड में जाओ, बीच में ही आपको किसी का घर दिखेगा, बीच में ही होटल्स दिखेंगे, बीच में ही बढ़िया बढ़िया हॉस्टल्स और लॉजेस दिखेंगे, प्राइवेट. एवरीथिंग इज पार्ट ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी. कुछ बिल्डिंग यूनिवर्सिटी के, कुछ बिल्डिंग प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी. The model is different. Because you need all these things in this university. So when I went there, then they say, okay, ये इस बिल्डिंग में जाइए, आपको इंजीनियरिंग के ये प्रोफेसर मिलेंगे, you can talk to him. I went there and said, sir, मुझे ना यूनिवर्सिटी देखनी है आपकी. He called one lady, around 45 years old. She was a moving keyboard. उसका जो ड्रेस था ना, 250-300 कीज लगी हुई थी हर साइड से, और उसका यही रोल था कि कोई भी ऐसे हमारे जैसे गेस्ट आते हैं उसको यूनिवर्सिटी बताए. मतलब वो कहीं भी ले जाएगी, ताला खोलेगी और बताएगी क्या लैब है, क्या है, कैसा सेमिनार हॉल है, कैसा क्लासरूम है, एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स. फाइनली शी टुक मी टू अ प्लेस, 1250 कैपेसिटी e-learning classroom. Because that time people were, I mean, ये टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं थी कि आप घर में बैठ के भी सीख सकते. 2007 में तो आपको कॉलेज आना है, टीचर कहीं से भी पढ़ाएगा. And they were creating one more hall of 850 capacity. So I asked, madam, ये क्या बात है? आपके पास you have hundreds of seminar halls and conference rooms and classrooms. 1250 capacity का e-learning classroom है, फिर भी हम 850 का दूसरा बना रहे. Said हमारे यहाँ 50,000 स्टूडेंट हैं. Everyone wants to go for a class which is offered in the e-learning platform, because that course is offered by the best professor in the world at the lowest cost. That professor will charge $10,000 for 1 hour, but he will have 1 lakh students attending that class at a time throughout the world. So आ गया 10 cents per hour. So it is the cheapest class. Best professor teaching at the cheapest price. So this ये जो credit transfer and credit bank की philosophy आ रही है ना, तो इसमें से ये होगा. The best professor in the world will teach you at the lowest cost. So the cost of education will automatically come down. Whatever are the factors which are enhancing the cost of education will vanish in 5 years from now. And if I am a teacher and if I don't change with the change, मुझे तो कहीं वड़ा पाव का गाड़ी लगाना पड़ेगा फिर, टीचिंग छोड़ के. This is going to be the future of education. Okay, anything next?
You
If
are
there
not
are,
audible, Shivang.
Pardon?
Yes, continue.
I was audible, right?
Yeah, right now.
Okay. So I said that Sir has mostly answered most of the questions which we wanted to ask, and what our viewers wanted to ask. So just before I request Sneha to proceed with the vote of thanks, I would just request that if he has any special message or something to say for the students, the freshers who are going to be coming into the market within a year or two, just a short message if you can deliver, so that it becomes a motivational for us, a bit of inspiring. Your story itself is inspiring. This episode has been pretty inspiring. But still, if you can give a short message to us.
मैं एग्जाम्पल कोट करता हूँ आपको जो बाइक यूज करते हो कौन सा वो कनेक्ट कौन सा होंडा वाला पॉपुलर बाइक कौन सी है स्कूटर
Activa.
एक्टिवा होंडा एक्टिवा इट्स वेरी पॉपुलर बाइक ना व्हाई बिकॉज इट इज पावरफुल एंड मोर रिलायबल इसकी इक्विवेलेंट जो पावरफुल बाइक है इन ई बाइक्स व्हिच इज ऑफर्ड बाय Honda and Atharva. The cost is about 1.25 lakhs. Now, about 15 days back, Government of India has come up with a subsidy, special subsidy. So, because of that, the cost of this bike have become 1.05 lakhs. जो पावर में मैच करेगी ना आपको 3 लोगों को बैठ के जाना है 2 में स्कूटर पे मजा आता है इट्स नेचुरल Now, I am working with one of my students who is a 1996 pass out. And he is owner of 5 factories. But every time he keeps anything new he's doing, he calls me. अभी जो 1,05,000 में जो बाइक मिल रही है इसके 95% कंपोनेंट परचेस किए हुए हैं उस कंपनी ने और 10% ही खुद बना रही है तो जो भी उसको बेच रहा है उसका 30% प्रॉफिट मार्जिन रख रहा है करेक्ट Now, if we develop a business model where 100% in-house, so he has foundry, he presently is manufacturing these lamps, and he is supplying to Cisca, he is supplying to Philips, even polycabs, wires also. But philosophy is 100% in-house production. Because of that, he can compete with his Chinese competitors. Whatever Chinese is giving, he can give at the same price but better quality. अभी जब इस गाड़ी का भी डिसाइड हो रहा था तो we said let's follow the same thing. तेरे पास फाउंड्री है, तेरे पास लाइटिंग सिस्टम है, तेरे पास प्लास्टिक का भी काम चल रहा है. ये पांचों फैक्ट्री प्लस ये छठी जो अभी रेडी हो गई है चाटन प्लांट में और उसको 400 करोड़ का लोन भी सैंक्शन हो गया महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट से 2 हफ्ते पहले ये अभी हम 100% इन हाउस बनाएंगे तो ये गाड़ी अभी अगले 6 महीने में आपको 70,000 में मिलेगी जो पुणे में बनेगी नाउ दैट इज द ब्यूटी द मैसेज इज बी इन टच विथ योर अल्मा मैटर Catch hold of some professor who will always be with you throughout your life. अभी और एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ मेरा एक स्टूडेंट है जिसने वो स्टार्टअप किया और मैंने कहा था वो परेल वर्कशॉप वाला तो उसके बाद ऐसा हुआ कि उसके जो दो टीचर प्रोफेसर थे उन्होंने मुझे बोला सर अभी हम नहीं रुक रहे गवर्नमेंट जॉब में बोला 13 साल हो गए 7 साल रुको पेंशन मिल जाती है नहीं सर बोले उतना टाइम नहीं है They went to Satara, purchased a land in new MIDC Satara and started manufacturing control panels. And because mine was one of the best EDC rated by DST, so when DST wanted to present some of their success stories to parliamentary committee, when any ministry wants to ask for money, they have to give a presentation to the parliamentary committee. So I was called and said कि वो आपका जो वो केस स्टडी है ना वो पूरा हमको बना के भेजो We want to present it to parliamentary committee that this is a success story of Ministry of Science and Technology. So I went to Satara, talked to them and all that. And then I said, let me know one of your important clients. तो बोला वो पेप्सी कोला का वो प्लांट आ रहा था रांजनगांव एमआईडीसी में. लेस खाते हैं ना हम लोग, अभी तो लेस बहुत पॉपुलर हो गया, उस टाइम लेस मार्केट में नहीं था. द फर्स्ट प्लांट फॉर लेस वाज बीइंग डेवलप्ड एट रांजनगांव एंड नाउ दे हैव 3 प्लांट्स. अगर आप अभी जब लेस का पैकेट खोलो लोगे ना तो देखना पीछे 3 मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट्स बताते हैं, इसमें से एक पुणे का है रांजनगांव. ये रांजनगांव का प्लांट बन रहा था. सो आई वेंट टू द जनरल मैनेजर प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड आस्क्ड हिम, how do you think about my students? And he said, now I realize that whenever we have any changes in our processes, this is the company, Manshu Comtel Private Limited, Satara is a company which comes up with minimum cost difference and minimum time gap with a new design of control panels. Because this company has a base in academics. Theory without practice is useless. But at the same time, practice without theory is directionless. ये ध्यान में रखना है. Practice without theory, हमको कभी कभी लगता है यार ये कॉलेज वालों को क्या समझते हैं, अरे नहीं समझते. बट कुछ प्रोफेसर ऐसे रहते हैं कि जिनका गाइडेंस आपको थ्रू आउट लाइफ काम में आता है. Understand that professor and be in touch with him or her throughout the life, at all stages of your life. यही कंपनी का अगला बता रहा हूँ मैं. बाद में 2008 की बात है. They purchased one press machine, fully automatic, computerized control from Japan, costing 1 crore. This machine was insured for everything except for one thing कि मशीन फैक्ट्री में आएगी और उस पर स्लैब गिरेगा और मशीन टूट जाएगी. और this boy was very fond of dome shape. उसका कोई थिंकिंग था कि डोम शेप की फैक्ट्री बनाओ तो पॉजिटिव एनर्जी आती है वगैरह वगैरह. उसका साइड इशू है कि इसने जब अपने पहला यूनिट का डोम शेप बनाया, इसको 150 मंदिरों की ऑर्डर आई, भाई हमारा डोम शेप तुम बना के दो, साउथ डिजाइन करके दो फ्रॉम साउथ इंडिया. सो दैट बिकेम हिज साइड बिजनेस. नाउ ये डोम शेप बना रहा था, वो डोम गिर गया मशीन पे, मशीन टूट गई, 1 करोड़ गया पानी में. इसने मुझे फोन किया, सर 1 करोड़ का नुकसान हो गया, आप आओ तो. मतलब ठीक है, मैं भी वो RIT साक्षाली जब पुणे से जाता हूँ, सो Satara is on the way, half. So on my way back from RIT साक्षाली I'll come. मैं जब आ रहा था तो वो हाईवे पे आके खड़ा ही था हमारा स्टूडेंट प्रोफेसर मनेरिकर. He was professor also, my own student and then entrepreneur. चलो सर, हम गए फैक्ट्री में, देखा मशीन कैसे टूटी है, क्या नहीं बनाई, भी क्या करेंगे, 1 करोड़ गया, क्या करेंगे, ये थिंकिंग चल रहा था. अरे राजेंद्र, his name is राजेंद्र, हम रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग करके देखते हैं, ये मशीन कैसे भी तो फूटी है अभी, इसमें हम रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग अप्लाई करते हैं. So we did that reverse engineering in next 3 to 4 months. We developed a complete blueprint of design and manufacturing of the same machine. अभी अगर एज इट इज अगर हम उसको लेके आते मार्केट में तो देयर इज अ कॉपीराइट प्रॉब्लम, पेटेंट प्रॉब्लम. जापान वाला तो ही विल sue us in the market. Then we indigenize that version further. And then we found that I worked with him for next 3-4 months. सबको तो हो गया, लेकिन अगर ये मशीन बनाने का काम करते बैठे तो अपना जो कंट्रोल पैनल का मेन बिजनेस है वो डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा. एक कर दे, लेट्स सेल दिस टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर 2 crore. लेट समवन एल्स डू दैट. 1 करोड़ का जो घाटा हुआ था वो 1 करोड़ के प्रॉफिट में कन्वर्ट हुआ. ये मैसेज है कि बी इन टच विथ योर प्रोफेसर्स एंड अल्मा मेटर्स. कहीं ना कहीं आपको बराबर सोल्यूशन मिलेगा. सो आई थिंक दिस इज द वे बेटर यू वर्क. अंदर स्टूडेंट है वो अभी वर्टिकल फार्मिंग में काम कर रहा है एंड ही इज मोटिवेटेड नो वन अदर देन प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी. ही इज अ पास आउट ऑफ 1998 इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियर. He went into the media industry. He was chief technological officer for a I think from CNN at that time. जब मोदी जी प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने तो 2014 से 2017 3 साल मोदी जी का पूरा इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल कवर करने का काम इनके पास था. एंड ही बीइंग ऑन द टेक्निकल साइड चीफ सीटीओ, वो जाता था कभी कभी वहां पे, और ही गॉट मोटिवेटेड कि कैसे सक्सेसफुल पीपल काम करते हैं. वापिस आया, जॉब छोड़ दिया, आज हल्दी पे काम कर रहे हैं. ही इज अ टर्मरिक किंग ऑफ द वर्ल्ड टुडे. 11,000 crores turnover. And I was told by one of his classmates, सर उसने तो कॉर्पोरेट जेट खरीदा है, उसके पास 11 वेटिकन वैन से लगेगा ना उसको वेटिकन वैन, क्योंकि उसका हर बंदा जब फील्ड में जाता है तो वो रहेगा कहाँ, खेत में जाएगा तो वेटिकन वैन ही लेके जाएगा खुद के. So the whole idea is he has come up with an idea. 12 layers of, आपके पास अगर 1 एकड़ खेती है तो उसके 12 एकड़ बन गए. अभी आप उसको पॉली हाउस में मैन्युफैक्चर बना रहे हो हल्दी. अगर आप 1 टन का आपका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग होता था तो 12 एकड़ में अभी आप 100 टन बना रहे हो. हल्दी प्रोसेसिंग आपको 15 दिन लगते थे, अभी आप 24 घंटे में कर रहे हो. He is flooded with the orders. He is now registered with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. Flooded with the orders. I was talking to him, वो कह रहा था सर मैंने इगतपुरी में बड़ा यूनिट खोला है, ठाणा में बहुत बड़ा मेरा कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस है, सर आप यहाँ आता हूँ, आपको ले जाता हूँ, because they like to show it to their professors. The problem is now he is flooded with orders. 2023 तक जितना भी वो सप्लाई कर सकता है ऑर्डर्स रेडी है. Still people are coming to him and saying कि चलो 2024 के ऑर्डर ले ले भाई मेरे, because he is a global supplier, only one in the world. पहले उसने पेटेंट किया ये फिलोसॉफी. सॉइल बेस कोई नहीं कर रहा था आज तक, फर्स्ट टाइम इसने किया है डॉक्टर प्रशांत झाड़े ने. अभी पैसा कहाँ से लाए, क्योंकि जितना बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में आपको क्या होता है, आप तो सब एमबीए के स्टूडेंट्स हो, फाइनेंस का भी कोई होगा, तो आपको तो लिमिट मिलती है ना, इतना ही पैसा आप मार्केट से उठा सकते हो. अब इसकी तो पैसे की वैल्यू रिक्वायरमेंट बढ़ते जा रही है. आज ये 36% से लोगों से पैसे उठा रहे हैं. यहाँ के प्रिंसिपल इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के मुंबई के, उन्होंने पर्सनल लोन लिया है 60 लाख का विद 14% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट फ्रॉम द बैंक. प्रशांत झाड़े के पास इन्वेस्ट किया है 36% से, तो कितना कमा रहे हैं, 2400 टका. So I mean, this is the way. Be in touch with some professors who can be with you throughout your life. And professor also, only professor should be enjoying your growth, your development. I enjoy. जब मेरा स्टूडेंट 11,000 करोड़ का बिजनेस करता है तो मुझे बहुत खुशी होती है, भले उसमें से 1 पैसा मुझे नहीं मिलता है, बट वो रेस्पेक्ट तो देता है. वो कहता है सर मैं आऊंगा, मलाड से आपको ले जाऊंगा, ठाणा का ऑफिस बताऊंगा, बोला नासिक के भी वो गोखले एजुकेशन सोसाइटी के कमेटी में मैं हूँ, तो बोले सर आप जब भी नासिक आ रहे हो मुझे खाली फोन कर देना, इगतपुरी देने आ जाऊंगा. Something like this. This is my message. Be in touch with your alma mater throughout your life.
That's the reason, sir, teachers are also called as your other parents. They are your second parents. Like one parents are there at your home. Once you go out to your school, your colleges, they are your second parents. Exactly. And that's the reason they are being called second parents, but because they don't
once you become successful.
Exactly.
Don't leave them.
They are more than happy and proud than what you are after seeing you being a successful person and succeeding in what you are doing. So that's a very beautiful message, and it's pretty important to be in touch with professors and teachers because they have taught you, so they understand what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths. More than your parents, the teachers know with whom you have spent your time. So that was a very beautiful message, sir. Thank you so much for that. So now I will request if Sneha has any further questions.
No, I don't have any further questions. I think sir has cleared everything regarding the IT sector and also the career development. And now I would like to proceed with the vote of thanks. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your precious time to us. And I think our audience I think everything is clear in our minds, and you have very well depicted the picture of role of information technology in career development. Also, I would like to thank Shri Sunil Rane, Executive President, Atharva Group of Institutes, AGI, and Dr. R.G. Ratnawat, Director of AIMS, for giving us this wonderful platform to interact with masses, and Dr. Shubhilal Agrawal, Director of Internal Quality Assurance Cell AIMS, for connecting us with the intellectual capital across the globe. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Shivang. Let's conclude this session.
Thank you so much, Sneha. Thank you so much, sir. And I, with the one more, just one thing I would like to add that I 5 ID Talks episode. By far, this has been one of the best episode and also the longest episode that I have conducted. So it was very knowledgeable episode, sir. Thank you so much for that. And I'll be looking forward for many such episodes with you on various other topics so that we can be enlightened with your knowledge and we can just grow with your knowledge. And as you gave a message of being in touch with the professors, I'll definitely make sure that I am in touch with you through my lifetime when I grow up.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sure.
Thanks. Have a